Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम् वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थः प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Namaste everyone, welcome.
Namaskar.
So we'll just see, you'll see on the screen there, Nadī-śabdha. So before we do Nadī-śabdha, actually, let's remember our Maheshwara Sutra. We haven't chanted this in a long time, so we have to remember to chant this every week. You can always remind me as well. Okay. So we'll chant this together. I'll try to remember to go slowly. Om A I Un Rilik E Ong I Ouch Haya Varartha Lan Nyamagananam Jabhanya Gardhadash Jabagardadash Kapachatata Chatatav Kapai Shashasar Hal Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani. So we'll remember to practice this so we can have it somewhere in our buddhi. Now we'll go back and we'll look at our Nadī-śabdha. So we can chant this together. And then, because we're going to do a lot of Nadī-śabdha practice today. And today, hopefully, if we get time, we'll also look at some sandhi. We'll look at Natva sandhi. So we did Murdanyatva sandhi. Now we'll do Natta sandhi, hopefully, in this class as well. But let's first focus on Nadi and do some exercises with that. So you can see it's on the board. You can chant with me. Nadi, Nadyo, Nadyaha. Nadim, Nadyo, Nadihi. So that's a little bit different, right? Nadya, Nadibhyam, Nadibihi. Fourth case, Nadyai, Nadibhyam, Nadibhyaha. So fifth case, Nadyaha, Nadibhyam, Nadibhyaha. Sixth case, Nadyaha, Nadyoho, Nadinam. Nadyam, Nadyoho, Nadishu. He Nadi, He Nadyo, He Nadyaha. So just that note in Sambodhana, So S1, Sambodhana, the first Ekavachanam, it's short, Rasva. So it's Nadi, not Nadi. So we see this, for example, let me show you something. One mistake that people make. So if you look at the prayers, right? Sarasvati. So it's short ikara because we're calling out to Sarasvati. It's if you say Sarasvati Namastubhyam, then you're putting in first case. Then the entire meaning has changed. Well, it's not so significant. I think Bhagavan will understand. But we're calling out to Saraswati. Oh Devi, oh Saraswati. So even that short difference between it, Saraswati and Saraswati does make a difference. Now we understand why, right? Okay. So I'm going to actually switch screens. We're going to go. So you can actually open up your book. We'll first, actually, so you can stay with Nadi. So we're on page, Nadi is on 114, 115. And also have your hand somewhere in the back of the book. Exercise, I think this is 28 for Nadī-śabdha, page 181. So let me, right, so Nadi is 114. And exercise is, let's make sure of that. Yeah, so this is actually exercise number 30. So this is page 182, I believe. Somewhere around there, maybe 181. Okay, so it's in the back of the book. You're going to look at for exercise number 30 as well. Okay, so first, let's just look at page 114, Nadi. Just what we were looking at. Let's pick up one more word so that we can get some practice. Oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm seeing. All right, here we go. So let's just pick up one more word. So we'll do, let's do Parvati. Okay, actually, yeah, let's do Saraswati. Okay, that's not on here, but that's what we just saw in the book, right? So let's do Saraswati, just like Nadī-śabdha, just like Nadī-śabdha, okay? So Saraswati, Saraswatyo, Saraswatyah, Saraswatim, Saraswatyo, Saraswatihi, Saraswatya, Saraswatibhyam. Sorry, let me make this bigger for you all. Saraswatibhihi. Saraswatyai, fourth case. Saraswatibhyam. Saraswatibhyaha. Fifth case. Saraswatyaha. Saraswatibhyam. Saraswatibhyaha. Sixth case. Saraswatyaha. Saraswatyoho. Saraswatinam. Saraswatyam. Saraswatyoho. Saraswatishu. He Saraswati. He Saraswatyo. He Saraswatyah. Okay. So we'll do a little bit more practice in a moment once we do these exercises. So let's just look at a few more vocabulary, right? We saw Urvi, earth, Devi, goddess, Vapi, pond, Kali Devi, right? Nagari is city, so you'll see Nagari quite a bit, right? Like this, we'll say the The city of the heart is often a phrase that you'll see in Vedanta. Varanasi is the same as Kashi. So Kashi, Varanasi, both are the city. You see
Varanasi, right?
Varanasi.
Yeah, Varanasi. Sorry, thank you. I'm used to how we generally say it quickly. Varanasi. Thank you. Appreciate that. Patni, wife. So it's funny actually that there's a sutra for Patni only after only after you've gone around the Agni in marriage, the nakara is added. So it's pati, and then once you go around the fire, there's literally a sutra that says once you go around the fire, you can add the nakara.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's interesting how they very specifically say that. Okay, we'll look at a few next week.
Mahodaya,
Yeah.
अहम एकं प्रश्नं पृच्छामि. Nagari. Nagari is city. What is Nagaram?
Yeah, so Nagaram. So this is the Pratipadika in feminine.
Okay.
You can also see Nagaram.
Correct.
Yeah, you can see both.
Napumsakalinga.
Napumsakalinga, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so city has both a Strilinga and a Napumsakalinga.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can see, like, for example, Kashi Nagari, because its city is qualifying.
Got
Kashi.
it.
It's three.
Yeah. Dhanyawada.
So yeah, and one other thing, since we're here, right? So we see some of these words like yogini is the feminine form of yogin, right? So we see 1-1 would be a masculine is yogi, but 1-1 a feminine is yogini. Okay, you see this like swami and swamini also. So this is swamini would be declined just like this, just so we know that. So let's look at exercise 30. I just chose 3 random ones. So I chose 6, 8, and 10 for us to do today. So you can follow along. If you have any questions, you can let me know. Okay, so number 6, tasyaha nagaryaha prak vapi asti. Okay, so first of all, we have to, I chose some of these, usually I don't know, I find this, that some of the ones at the end are usually harder. So I've started to pick up some of the ones at the end to do in practice. So we have to remember a few things as we go along this. So you're going to hear some feedback, but that's okay. So this is asti. So asti, right, we know is as dhatu, to be, and this is to be. To be. That's how you remember to be. Atlakaraha, kartari prayoga, right? And this is third one. So we have, so no real question with that. We've seen asti a lot of times. It's just asti declines differently than normal 1P verbs. And that you can see that earlier in the book, but right, we know asti is going to be third one all the time, 2P, right? If it's third 3, then it's santi, right? Santi. So those are good to know. So asti and santi. So once we pick up the verb, we try to find the 1-1. So the 1-1, do you know what it is in your mind? Look through it all. Or the first case. It doesn't have to be a 1-1 specifically, but a first case. Yep. So it's going to be vapi. Right? So we're doing ikaranta feminine. So this is Nadī-śabdha. This is ikaranta strilinga shabda. So it means a pond, a body of water, a pond. So vapi means pond. Right, we're in Kartari Prayoga, so this is going to be Kartari Prathama to Asti. Right? So far we know the sentence is, what's the sentence so far? Pond is. There's a pond. No, there's a pond. Okay. So I'm just going right to left now, right? We're going to pick up prak. Now, prak is, how do you decline prak? It's an avyaya. I'm tricking you. It's avyaya. Yeah. So it's one of those words you don't, so avyaya means really what happens is supratyaya actually comes, but it's elided. It's erased. So that's why we don't have a supratyaya eventually, and we don't have a vibhakti at the time. Okay. But it technically, sup does come and it leaves. So that's why we would technically call it a subantam if we had to make that classification. Okay. Prak means, yeah. So it means before.
Before.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I put some references in here, so you can note in your book, right, next to this number, refer to page 81. Because prak always gives us fifth case, right? So prak always is going to connect with fifth case. So then we see that fifth case word, right? Nagaryaha. It's Nadī-śabdha, right? This could be technically sixth case as well, but I see that prak, so that kind of tips us off that it's going to be sixth case. So this is ikaranta strilinga shabda, right? It means the city, as we saw in the beginning of class. So this is my panchami vibhakti ekavachanam. What's my meaning? So technically, prak. So I'm going to stop here. Let me pause here. So this is called dig, and the handwriting is not very clear. Dig yoge panchami. Dig yoge panchami. We don't see this as much, right? We haven't seen this as much, but there's certain words which denote direction. Dik means direction. So if something is before something, right, it's kind of denoting a direction. There's also other directional words, which you'll see under, if you look at page 81, which give you that dig yoge panchami. Okay. So far the sentence is, the pond is before. Pond is before what? What is Nagari? The city, right? So pond is before the city.
It is her city, tasya.
Yeah, so we're going to get there. We haven't done tasyaha yet. So far, all we know, though, is pond is before the city. So, right, so yeah, we have to pick up that last word, tasyaha. Right, tasyaha is Nadī-śabdha. Now, tad, you can say dakaranta, because it is dakaranta, but more often we just say sarvanama, right? It's a sarvanama shabda. it's a pronoun and it's in feminine, right? But let me just make a note there that this Nadī-śabdha can be in all three genders. I wrote it here too, that's funny. All three genders. Really, it's all three genders, but here we're using the feminine form. So it's 5-1, it's the adjective to Nagaryaha. So finally, right, the pond is before that city. Okay. Now note, it's not that the feminine is not really, you don't see that in that, right? That it's a feminine city, because that, like, we wouldn't say the pond is before her city, because we're not in, tasyaha is not 6th case, tasyaha is 5th case. Technically, tasyaha could be 6th case, and then it would be the pond is before their city, their feminine, so her city in a way. So here the city is denoting a feminine, so it can be Kashi, for example, Kashi or Varanasi. Okay, so let's do some declensions again. So let's pick up Nagari, and let's do the whole declension chart. I put one here in case you need it, right? So Nagari. Okay, so Nagari, Nagaryo, Nagaryaha, Nagarim, Nagaryo, Nagarihi, Nagarya, Nagaribhyam, Nagaribihi. 4th case, Nagaryai, Nagaribhyam, Nagaribhyaha. 5th case, what do we see? Nagaryaha, Nagaribhyam, Nagaribhyaha. 6th case, Nagaryaha, Nagaryoho, Nagarinam, Nagaryam, Nagaryoho, Nagarishu. He, Nagari, he, Nagaryo, he, Nagaryaha. Okay, so we're going to keep practicing this. We'll do number 8 as well. Thought that might be useful. And then we can probably stop after number 8. I have one more, but we can see where we end up. Okay. So we always want to pick up the verb. Do you see the verb? Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a kid's book. Do you see the moon? That's kind of what reminded me. So you're going to pick up Tushyati. So this is Tush Dhatu. Okay, now, I want to rewind a little bit. Okay, Tushyati. Tushyati is Tush Dhatu. Now, if it's Tush Dhatu, you see that Yakara, right? You see Yakara, but not Atmanepada. So that means it's going to be 4. It's going to be 4P. 4th Gana, that 4th group of dhatus, always gives that Yakara. So Tush becomes Tushya. Right? So Tush becomes Tushya. So that 4P. It means to please or to delight. To be pleased. Yeah. So I put the page number where you can find this as well. So this is page 34. You can mark that down on your exercise because you're going to do this again. This exercise is again one day. So page 34. Right? This is Latlakara Kartari Prayoga, third one. Right? So don't get tricked and say karmani just because you see that yakara. All right. So I'm going to give some time. So Subantam Padam, we're going to pick up a 1-1, or a first case, not a 1-1 always, right? So let's pick up. You can see one there. It's a nice one. It's a nice Ramavat. It's like Rama, Shivaha. So Shivat Akaranta Pullinga. Okay, so just because we're doing feminine exercise, we can still have Pullinga as well. So this is Lord Shiva. Okay, so this is 1-1. Oh, I don't know why it just says Lord. It should say Lord Shiva. Oh, there we go. So this is 1-1. This is one Kartari Prayoga. So this is going to be Kartari Pratama to Tushyati. Okay, so now we go right to left. So let's pick up our next word. Oh, so far, Lord Shiva is pleased. So actually, it's really interesting how Tush, if you look in the dictionary, it's kind of has that karmani sense to it already, to be pleased. So it's a bit funny. That's how it's there. So Lord Shiva is pleased. Now we're going to pick up our next word. You see that Satyam. So really, I should have put a makara there. But this is Sat, is the Pratipadikam. Okay, now we haven't learned Sat. Where have we seen Sat before? Yep, I know you're saying it. So Sati Saptami. Yeah, so we've seen this before. It's technically the ending, right? It's three linga here, but this can be really all three genders, right? So this is another one to know that it's really all three genders. Here we're doing strilinga.
Mahodaya, you said a makara for Shivam, for Satyam.
Yeah.
That is how? How can it be? Because the next word is the Vyanjana.
Yeah, so I'm just saying because I took it out of the sentence, there's technically no word next to it that I've written here. So when we write it just by itself.
Oh, okay, correct. By itself, it is, itself is a makara.
Yeah, by itself, we would put a makara. When it's in that sentence, then we would put the sandhi and it would become anuswara. Yeah.
Dhanyawada.
So this is 7-1. Okay, so Sat really means being. So I also put the page number here. You can put the page, this is page 85, which talks about Sati Saptami. Okay. So Sati, so this Sat can be declined in all three genders. Here, we decline it like Nadī. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No. I'll pull it up. It's right here. I thought I did it. So just let me make that note. So right. So we're doing that Sati Saptami. So this is 7. So literally the Sat is put in the 7th case as well. And when in feminine, it becomes Satyam. Yeah, so there's a question of if we can go through Sat in all three genders. Yeah, we can look at that. Okay. So I'll pull that up so you can see. But the next word, right, is Gauryam. So Nadī-śabdha. Gauri, just like Nadi, right? So this is E endings 3. And just as we saw, this is 7-1, right? So this is the Nadī-śabdha. Okay. So what do we know about Nadī-śabdha? It gives that sense of when, oh, what am I typing very aggressively there? When something is happening, then something happens, right? It kind of gives that when then kind of quality to it. So we'll see. So if we say Godyam Satyam, then Shivaha Tushyati. So Godyam Satyam, when Gauri Devi is present, when Gauri Devi is there, then what happens? Lord Shiva is pleased. How sweet. When Gauri Devi is there, Lord Shiva is pleased. Okay. What I want to do is show you. So does anybody have any questions right now about Nadī-śabdha or about what we've done so far? Okay. I just want to show you one thing. 1 second. Yeah. So Sat does get that E and it declines exactly like Nadi when in feminine. Okay. So just so we know that Sat gets that long E, so it becomes Sati, and it declines just like Nadi. Now I'll show you what page this is on. So this is actually page 138. So it's quite far. We haven't quite got there yet, but this is what this Sat looks like in masculine. So this is masculine. We'll see this. San, santo, santaha, santam, santo, etc. Right? But we see that we really just need to know the 7-1, which is Sati. Right? Do I call it Nadī-śabdha? Now, if we see it in feminine, right? That suffix E is added, so it becomes Sati, and it declines like Nadi. Okay. So we'll see this eventually. All we need to know is that right now that Sati declines like feminine Nadi. Okay. Yeah, so we don't have time to go over number 9. I'll just show you very, very quickly of some notes to make when you're looking at, oh, sorry, number 10. Number 10, I just want to let you know if you're doing number 10, right? Rakshatu, this is lot lakara, okay? But Rakshatu is third one, Rakshatu, okay? Another one is mom. What all you need to know is what case do you think it is? 2-1. We haven't learned this yet though. Okay, mam is technically from asmad-śabdha. Asmad-śabdha we haven't seen yet, but in 2-1 it can look like mom. Okay. So just a note to make for number 10. We'll stop here. So there's a question about number 9. Let everyone take a break and I can answer that in between. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So we'll take a 5-minute break. So there is a question about number 9. So number 9, right? So Nagari Prithivyam Nagaryaha Santi. That's right. So we see Santi. Santi is Asdatu 2P, and it's third. So third 3. So it's plural. So asti staha santi. So nagaryaha, the cities are where? Cities are Prithivyam, on the Prithivyam, on the Prithvi, on the earth.